On this fine December 11th, 2023. It's one of the last, this is the last week we're going to be active until January 9th or the week of. So we're going to start off with some words of wisdom from Mike, and over to you, Mike.
Well, thank you, Bernie. Morning, everybody. I hope everybody had a nice weekend. Lana, it's nice to see you again. Long time. So last week we talked about the very first part of this series about how luck favors the brave, and we're going to continue on that because there's three dominant themes, which are focus, boldness, and alliance building. So we're going to talk about focus today. So let's get rolling. So there are two kinds of people. The ones that can see the big picture and the ones that can't. The world needs both breeds. Big picture people lead and those who can't follow. If you're a big picture person, you connect the dots of everything that surrounds you. Do you see the pattern where everybody else just sees a blur? Do you see the possibilities where others just see problems? Do you act while the rest are acted upon? So from the big picture person to another, here's a description of the first of the three dominant themes of focus. Focus will help you leverage the five social super trends, which we'll be discussing the following weeks, and strongly increase your contribution to the people around you. So the dominant theme number one is focus. The more frenetic life becomes, the more focused you need to be. Focus acts like a filter towards mental pollution. If you know where you are, what you are looking for, you will be alert for the information and it'll help you get it. You will block out whatever doesn't serve you, and whatever you focus on, you will move towards. Everything you need is in reach, whatever you are doing. So do it magnificently. Do one thing at a time, wherever you are, and be there fully within whoever you're with. Discipline your pursuits, discipline your thoughts, discipline your actions. Stay goal conscious. Keep your desired end goal front and center 24/7. As you scan your environment, interpret your everyday events as you decide what to do and what to say. And ask yourself a simple question. How can I use this activity or learning to help me achieve my goal? Focus intensifies energy, and it ensures maximum resources are applied against a specific object. It enhances the impact of your efforts because it is pure. What's important is not diluted by distraction. The more you focus, the clearer things become. So answer these questions. What is the biggest challenge that is facing your colleagues or your customers? What is the one thing you can do to help them manage their challenges? And what is the one thing that will really help you help them? In a word, in my world, my contacts and clients, the biggest challenge is escalating anxiety. I need to be able to help them turn anxiety into adrenaline. That's today's share. Back to you, Bernie.
Mike, thank you so much. And so, folks, we are live on LinkedIn. The post is, or the link to that is in the chat. Please post your contact details and anything that's happening that's outstanding happening in your day. And we're going to start off with Alex.
Hi, good morning, everybody. My name is Alex. I'm from Eve Ultra Electric. We are Ottawa's low carbon, sustainability focused electrical contractor here in the city. And we focus on projects where we help people reduce their carbon footprint. And we do that through the supply and installation of EV charging solutions, through LED lighting, energy storage solutions, which is big batteries on the side of the building or in the garage that can power the house in a power outage. And of course, we do general electrical work as well. So if you're after a reliable, honest, trustworthy electrician in the city for industrial, commercial, residential projects, please don't hesitate to give me a call and I will put my details in the chat. Thank you.
Alex, thank you so much. Eric, welcome back.
I feel like betrayed by Bernie because he usually pick on me first, but this week he went to Alex. Thank you very much, Bernie. I'm back from a vacation in Mexico, and I'm still who I was 2 weeks ago. Eric Senego Professional Group. We're accountants and management consultants. We're located in Canada. We specialize on two types of clients. During the winter, most of the time we don't specialize in this. We are tasked with doing taxes of individuals who haven't yet done their taxes or who are doing their taxes for 2023. But we don't do that many individuals that are, the 1T4 or 1T5 type of person. We do individuals who are, self-employed or have commission income or have investments. Nobody comes to an accountant to do a simple tax return. So every tax return we do is a very complicated tax return. That being said, most of the year I do year ends, to corporations, and we do that. That's our bread and butter of the business. We can be reached at 613-254-7310. And the message for this week is, if you have collected COVID type of support that you don't think you deserved, pay it back before they call you. I have 5 clients now that are going to tax court because they didn't follow our advice and they collected because the money was there to collect. And now the CRA wants to be paid in full. And now they're broke. So now we have to go to tax court to explain to a judge to give terms, because CRA doesn't want to hear terms. So if you know anybody like that, pay it or go to a travel agent, buy a ticket, and leave the country. That's probably the cheapest advice I can give. 613 www.espgaccountants.ca. Have a great week.
You book flights too there, Eric, or what?
Yes.
We're going to swing over to Mike next.
Great. Thank you, Bernie. Morning, everybody. Mike with We Care Focus, the distract and defensive driving. Tip of the day, I'm going to just share my screen here. And the tip of the day is don't speed, because it is just not worth it. Let's take a look.
Instacar, help when we get into the
Should I give the Kinder a call and let them know you'll be late?
No, it's fine.
Sure.
See you soon.
Why are you so angry, Mummy?
I'm sorry, darling. I'm not really angry. We're just in a hurry to pick up Sam.
Is Sammy waiting for us?
Yes, he is.
Where are we going?
It's just a different way, darling. It's a bit quicker.
Are we already there yet?
Yes, we are.
Oh, Scotty! Scotty!
What have you done?
So tip of the day, don't speed. It's not worth it, because you might get lucky, you only get a speeding ticket, but it can turn into a catastrophe. So going in a hurry nowhere doesn't make sense. Steering you straight.
Mike, thank you so much. And we'll go over to Shane if you're available, sir. Sorry I didn't give you a heads up.
Yeah, Shane is presenting.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, you know what, Tony?
I need
thank
my
you.
minute. I need my minute. Bye-bye.
Shelf. There's the elf on the shelf moment. Sam, over to you, sir.
Thank you, Bernie. Good morning, everyone. Sam Sturris, ConnectedCars.ca. There's my contact information in the chat. Oh, you know what I do. Maybe Lana doesn't. I do electronics in cars, mostly dash cameras like this one right here. I connect it right to the fuse panel of the car. Nice and neat, no wires hanging down and that. But I also do minor repairs, oil changes, and brake jobs. And I had a customer last week with a SUV, and basically it was a simple battery. The battery had was gone, and so I replaced the battery. But I also looked at the fluids and noticed that the oil was down. Well, this was a 2020 SUV with a turbocharger, and having the oil down was kind of surprising to me. And well, that person didn't know much about turbocharged engines, and I sent them some information afterwards. So if you have a car with a turbocharged engine, or you know someone that does, there's some specific things that you need to know about them. The turbocharger is lubricated and cooled by the oil in the engine, and having the oil down is not a good thing for the turbocharger. A good way to ruin the turbocharger and possibly cost thousands of dollars in repairs. So if anybody wants to know more about turbochargers, well, besides the fact that you better make sure that the oil is kept up, and but there's also some other things that you need to know about starting and running the car hot and or cold. So let me know if you're interested in more information on that. I gladly pass that information on to you if you have or you know someone that has a turbocharged engine. Sam Sturris, ConnectedCars.ca, today's mobile electronics without the cost of a new vehicle, and a heck of a lot more.
Sam, thank you so much. Susan Ebbs. Okay, I'll come back to you, Susan. Jacqueline, over to you.
Well, good morning, everyone. I know we took a long, deep breath, lifted our shoulders, got dressed in red, and took them back and dropped them down. And then we took out our tarot cards because we think that we can do that with money. I can pull a card and say, you know what? It's the pillar of strength. Or I can pull another one and say, it's the archangel of balance. Perhaps we have a conversation and I say, why don't we sit down and talk about your renewal? Why don't we sit down and talk about how you're feeling about what you're paying every single month, every 2 weeks? How do you feel about making some changes? We can do tarot cards, no problem. But wouldn't you rather know when you're looking for strategies, you don't need the cards, for your mortgage money, you want to contact your mortgage honey.
Jacqueline, thank you so much. Susan, over to you, ma'am.
Thank you so much. Good morning, everyone. So I represent a company called melaleuca.com. It's an online shopping company, and we specialize in non-toxic cleaning products. I thought I'd showcase our dishes, Diamond Bright. This is utilizing enzymes to get our dishes clean, and I know we're going to have lots of dishes coming with the Christmas season. The beauty of Diamond Bright, there's no chlorine, there's no phthalates, there's no chemicals. So you're not putting the toxic fumes into your home as you do your dishes, and it's not staying, the toxins are not staying on your dishes either. So you're not eating toxins. So Diamond Bright, this gives you 25 loads, and it's decreasing the amount of bottles that we put into the environment. So Susan Ebbs, non-toxic cleaning products with melaleuca.com.
Susan, thank you so much. Norm, over to you, sir.
Norm Boyer from Boyer Boys Home Maintenance Repair. One thing we can do this time of the year is we can take a picture of your house inside each wall, and we can see where the heat is leaving or the cold is coming in. We have a thermography camera, which means it measures heat and cold. So cold is a dark blue and heat is orange. So you can see where the weaknesses are in your house as far as energy and why the room is cold. We just take a picture of it and it shows up on the thermography camera. So stuff hidden behind the wall, for instance, the new construction, if they're running low on insulation and they just got like one bat missing and they just covered up with drywall and you can't tell why your room is cold. Well, it's because they missed a part of insulation, and the thermometer camera will pick that up. It's so sensitive. If we put our hand on the surface for even 10 seconds and then take a picture of that surface, it'll show a handprint. So that's how sensitive it is to heat. This camera is was a reasonable price, $500. Put it on our iPad. The first one that I was exposed to when I was doing some R&D work with Public Works with the thermography camera that cost $95,000. So we come down from $95,000 in the time I first exposed it to around $500 now. So Boyer Boys Home Maintenance and Repair, we fix your home. You don't know how to do it, you don't want to do it, you don't have the time to do it, we'll do it.
And you take a family portrait and then the heat map. You just show you where the hot ones are in your household.
Well,
And
you can tell temperature on a person. You can tell which is the hottest part of their body just by taking a picture of the person.
yeah, the connected car logo, right, Sam? And Tony, over to you, sir.
Maybe you can get Lana.
I'm swinging around there. I'm getting there.
Oh, you're getting there. Oh, okay. All right. Oh, okay. Hang on. It's just turned around here. Okay. Hi, everybody. Tony Jennings from Hire Yourself. I'm the spirit guy of the group. Have you ever wondered about your pet? That when you get your pet, let's say it's a black lab or it's a dark charcoal color, and after a while they look old, like there's gray hairs coming out. Do you know what that is? When a pet is really loved, there's so much white light that goes into their system, it comes out of their skin onto their fur. So after a while, if you have a lot of love that you're giving this dog, you're always hugging it or petting it or whatever, it will turn white. It will turn whiter. In our own dog, we got a rescue dog about 2 months ago, and I'm always hugging Stella's head, always like that. Her body is gray, but her head is starting to turn white. It's almost white. And people ask, what's with the two-tone? I says, well, it's a long story. But basically, love does come through in your pets. So this is why they look like they're getting old. There's gray hairs coming out because that love is starting to come out. So Tony Jennings from Hire Yourself, where we are here to raise your spirits.
Tony, thank you so much. Lana, you have 2 minutes. We normally have a minute allotted to us talking, but you're a new member of this group from the real estate element, and so 1 minute to talk about the business and 1 minute about kind of a quick background on yourself.
Who is Lana? Wow. Who's Lana?
Where in the world is
Lana?
Where
in the world is Lana?
Where in the world is Lana? That's right. Good morning, everyone. For those of you who don't know me, I am Lana Burnley. I have been a member of Phoenix in the past, probably about 5 years or so ago, representing another product or another company. But I have been a realtor for over 23 years, and I've been all over Ottawa. But it's my job to help you navigate probably one of the biggest decisions you're ever going to make, and I do it in a very heartfelt way. I know the facts are easy to get. Anybody can get the facts, but I want to be able to read you, your family, your needs, and the transition you're going through and why you are going through it. And that will help me put together the right package and the right plan to get you and your family moved to the right home, to the home that will help you tell your story for the rest of your life or for the next phase of your life. And I want to be able to share the story that you created in your house now and share it with the new family that's going to be moving in. And because of that, I've been very, very successful because it all comes from the heart and not from the actual numbers. So it's Lana Burnley. I work with Solid Rock Realty, which used to be Keller Williams Solid Rock, and it's all about coming from the heart. And now, that was my little blurb. Oh, Lana at srrealty.ca, and my website is, I have a couple.
It's on your e-card.
It's on my e-card, yeah, lanaburnley.com. Let's just go with that. And my company is Smart Living Real Estate Ottawa. Because it's all about living smartly and living with your heart. So personally, again, I have been I was with Phoenix and with another company, Arbonne, for many years, I guess 5 or 4 years ago, can't remember. I had to went my own way. What else? I am almost a senior citizen now. So I'm very excited about reaching that milestone. Yes, I've had cancer 2.5 times, 3 times. So in doing so, I'm very blessed to still be around. I always wanted to be a pilot, and I became a private pilot. And so I couldn't help really people doing that. So I ended up turning into real estate after high tech. But it's about the people and it's about knowing. Unfortunately, this year I lost my father, who was probably my biggest mentor, probably someone who I admire to the ends of the earth. He's a rags to riches type story. And for him to come from a mining town in Kirkton Lake to being fairly wealthy here in Ottawa as a military, thank you, as a military officer was quite the story. I'm the oldest of 4 kids. I don't have any kids myself because of the cancers. And yeah, I don't know. What else do you want to know?
Where do you fly? What do you fly?
That's a great way to show a house. That's a great way to show a house. Oh, you want that one? Let's land in their driveway.
Yeah. My pilot's license isn't active right now, through the pandemic, but I did fly Cessnas, 172s and 150s, and they were 4-seaters. But unfortunately, I also have to admit that, when you're in this sort of job, you're always driving, right? As a realtor, you're always driving. So that speeding video really, really touched home. Holy cats. Yes. And Sam is also right. I do need a a dash cam. I need one because some of the stuff you see is incredible, right? But the video that Mike showed really touched home because sometimes you end up having to go a little fast to get from one appointment to another. And that would that would kill me to do something like that. I don't know. What else? I wasn't quite prepared.
Lana, it's always a tradition at Phoenix for your first time that you have to let everybody know your bank PIN number.
Well, that's going to be a guessing game for you guys.
I don't even know mine.
Oh, I'll give you a hint. Mine's a reward I used to get in my former company, my former real estate company.
Cake?
How's that? Please. Anything else? I don't know what else to say. I wasn't really prepared. What?
Thank you, Lana. That's awesome. That's good.
Lana, great job. Welcome. I'm Bernie Fransberg, Creative Insight Consultants. I connect businesses, business concierge, synergy architect. I've got 2 podcasts in the flow. One's mine, the Knack for Business podcast, talking to business people and their journey and golden nuggets they want to relate. It's kind of like the C-suite space. And the other one is called The Property Wizard, where it's about commercial real estate and understanding what investment looks like in that space and how to go about it. Tony's posted this earlier about the East Trade Winds and World Referral Network. If you're not a member, it's free to join. And we have a meeting every Tuesday. So we're having our last meeting this year tomorrow, and then we start up again in the new year. If you're interested, let me know, and we'll spin it up for you. With all that said, we're going into the Shane presentation mode, and over to you, Tony.
Okay, so you ready, Shane? Are you?
I'm ready. Play the tape, baby.
All right. Let me just switch over here. Okay, buddy, here you go. You get your groove on. All right.
Concussion office assessment tool. So this is the first time, and there's a lot more detail in it, which is great because now we're getting to more details of what we've been doing in the office anyway, and they're catching up because obviously research always takes longer to be put into knowing that it's valid and reproducing the data points that we want it to. So there's your demographics again with our athletes. We have the blue, which is recommended, is needed. The green is recommended, and the orange is optional and makes more increased complexity. So current condition, obviously what happened during it. Did you walk off the field? Those types of data points. We have history of head injuries, so previous injuries. And then we have down here migraines, chronic headaches, depression, anxiety, syncope, so passing out, fainting, epilepsy, attention deficit disorder, and learning disabilities that are always good to know about that when you're talking to them about concussion and recovery periods.
How scary is that? They don't even know they're being recorded.
When I say hidden camera, you still think about high-tech spy movie stuff, right? Yeah, look at this. They become so small, so refined, yet so cheap, so readily available that
medications, this is optional. What kind of medications are they taking might lead to what they might be suffering from as depression, anxiety, any other ailments they might have that they're using medications for. And family history. So family history might lend to something that's we call the iceberg symptoms. So basically they're underneath the water. You're not seeing them, but they're sitting there waiting for either a traumatic injury to happen or something to affect them stress-wise that start to bring out these illnesses that might be hiding in someone's basically, in their immune system or in their nervous system that is just waiting for that opportunity to be exposed. Kind of like when people get shingles, right? And times of stress or whatever, when they're exposed, shingles can come up as an illness from these stressful times. Symptoms evaluation, those are the same symptoms we talked about earlier. This is just in the SCOTE, so we're going to take those and rate them from a 0 to 6 and sometimes 0 to 10, depending on what you are comfortable as a practitioner. And then the symptoms are worse with physical activity, which you can ask them, have they been doing any physical activity? Symptoms worse with cognitive activity, reading emails, looking on the phone. What's the symptom number, the severity, those types of things. Here's our immediate test again in the SCOTE. So we're doing those testing of the words. Here's our alternative list, so you can have more lists because the lists are very repetitive. They've had the same list for a long time, but now they have 10 words in a list, so people are getting new word lists, but before it wasn't. And now we have our numbers once again. So we have our numbers here. We're going to say those backwards again and see how well we do with those. And we have our reverse months in order. Now, something new, vital signs, right? They're doing basically blood pressure and heart rate. They do it laying down for about 2 minutes. We do it 3 minutes in the clinic just to make sure that everything has settled. And then we get them to stand up. And right after 1 minute of standing, we take their blood pressure again. We do 2 sides. Most people just do 1 side, like when you do it in the doctor's office, because 2 sides usually help us out determine how you're doing autonomically. Because if it's off from 1 side to the other side, that doesn't mean it's regulating it properly, even though 1 side might be within normal ranges. We have a cervical assessment here, which is, muscle spasm, midline tenderness, paravertebral tenderness, which is the sides of the midline, just to see if there's any tenderness with the neck. And then they have flexion, extension, lateral flexion, rotation of the head, all those different motions that we want to make sure that are within normal ranges, just to make sure that there's no whiplash or injury to the cervical spine, because those can produce dizziness, nauseousness, fogginess, a lot of the symptoms from headache or from concussion anyway, that we can help out with maybe fixing the cervical spine soft tissue. We often do an upper, middle, and lower part of the cervical spine, which isn't here, but that's obviously done by practitioners' comfort for what they usually analyze and what they want to find out about the cervical spine. Neurological, so cranial nerves, taste, smell, motor. We often do it for motor. Stick out your tongue. Does it go to one side? When you say at the doctor's office, to see if the palate goes up equally on both sides. Doing with that, we look at the eye movements, pupil response with light. All those things are cranial nerves, and they're really good to analyze going, is there something else that might have been damaged during the trauma to the head, right? Other things we have, neurological, limb tone, strength, reflexes, often has to do with the cerebellar function. Sensation, is it equally on each side, or is it hypersensitive, hyposensitive? And cerebellar function, you can do that by alternating hands or balance with your eyes closed. Those types of things are very helpful for the cerebellar function. Each practitioner is different on how they evaluate that as well, so that's under their preference. Here's our modified best test. We talked about the 1 leg tandem stance, and then on the foam is that extra testing done as well. Time tandem gait, that 3 meters, also in the SCOTE. And then they add a little extra to the SCOTE when they say walk with your heel to toe, and then 5 steps with your eyes closed, taking away the vision system. So you're relying more on vestibular and your proprioception, which is basically how your body feels the floor and what's around you, which is going to be really good to see if there is a vestibular problem going on anyway. And then we do one too with a backwards heel to toe, just so that we can see how it goes when you're going backwards. And you do that for 5 steps as well. That can help evaluate different things in the lobes of the brain as well. We have our dual task gait. So you're doing that. And now they have different ways to make it cognitively tough, right? So it's maybe we might say visit and spell it backwards. So TISIV while you're walking. So we always attempt these cognitive tasks by practicing it first so that they are aware of how they're going to do it. And then they have to do it while they're doing that walking backwards in this case. So it's one of those things to evaluate things, how they do cognitively and physically. Modified vestibular ocular motor, so it's called the VOMS. So this came from Pittsburgh University there with Mickey Collins, who did a lot with Sidney Crosby, but they had this thing for years now. They've been doing that, and they have the smooth pursuits, right? We're basically looking back and forth, up and down. Saccades, only side to side, looking at one target, then the other target. It's only done in the horizontal plane, not in the vertical plane. And then the VOR, so on a beep where you're looking at your target going back and forth, called gaze stability with the metronome at about 180. And then the VMS, which I'm looking at my thumbs and then I'm turning my body each side, and that's about 80 degrees to each side, which is done in the horizontal plane again. So they've stopped it from doing in the vertical plane. They haven't thinking that is that important, as well as they don't do near point conversion. So when they look at a target coming close, when does it become double? They also haven't used that from the VOMS. So it's a modified VOMS going forward, but it's a much better than it used to be. So we're happy that they're trying to include more details in the concussion testing. Then they have added an anxiety screen, a depression screen, and they even have the PHQ if you think that some of these questions, like little interest in pleasure in doing things, as well as feeling down and depressed and hopelessness, if you have those, then we might want to take into account a more sensitive screening and questionnaire. And the anxiety, as you can see, are you feeling nervous, anxious, or on edge, not being able to stop or control worrying too much about different things, trouble relaxing, being restless, and so on and so forth. So these are anxiety screens that they can do. And there are lots of different anxiety and depression screens. One is the HADS that they use as well. So depending on what the practitioner is comfortable with or think is recommended, we can always do further testing along those things. And if that is a problem, usually we're looking at a psychologist to help evaluate and be involved in care of the patient. All right, so we have a sleep screen now. So they're adding sleep in here, which is also awesome, right? How many hours do you get? Most of us are getting usually between 7 and 8. Obviously, more you're getting better numbers. Doesn't mean that's how much you need, but it's usually what we're looking for as a baseline. How satisfied are you with the sleep? Do you wake up refreshed or not? During the recent past, how has it been usually to taking you to fall asleep each night? Sounds it's taking longer now because of the concussion and not being able to get comfortable, or it just not being able to sleep. How often are you having trouble falling asleep? 3 to 4 times a week, 5 to 7, whatever it is. And then during recent past, how often have you taken medications? Melatonin, California poppy, and some over-the-counter sleep meds can also be used, trimazodone and stuff like that. So delayed word call, once again, here's our 10-word list. Do you remember them? All right, we have computerized testing. We do impact test. It's the most researched computer online test, but there are other ones that are also available that people can use. The graded aerobic exercise test. We use a graded one that goes from basically a 3-day from 65% to 70% to 75% and so on and so forth for 3 days each time, and seeing how well they do in a graded exertion. You can do the Buffalo treadmill test as well, which is very much researched and is looked at as one of the gold standards for how people do aerobically. So management and follow-up. So here's the things, if you find any of those, exceptions with cervical spine stuff, do you want imaging? Do you have any recommendations for work, class, driving, sport, those types of things? We have our referral to an athletic therapist, physiotherapist, ophthalmologist, neurosurgeon. Obviously, the chiropractor did not make the list, which is often very common with medical doctors, but we do have specialists with chiropractors that often can be referred to as specialists like myself, and hopefully they have the good credentials as well. So it's always finding somebody that is credentialed in all our different professions. We have people that are really good at things and some people that don't really treat that type of injury.
What does it take to be a Shen Yun dancer? It takes a mind of steel.
So return to learn, I'm not going to spend a lot of time return to learn, but there are obviously the new protocols they put out there as well. Activities do not result in more mild exacerbation. They talk about, only going to symptoms that go 2+ and then stop. You take a rest with that. Then you work on school activities, and then you go part-time back to school and then full-time back to school. When I've worked with Dr. Goulet, it's always about getting the kids back to school really quickly, even if they're not really doing schoolwork. It's getting them back into the social aspect and them not being so worried about school and getting depressed and stuff like that by staying at home too long. Rest is usually only about 24 to 48 hours when they're recommending that as well. Okay, when we're looking at return to sport, same thing, minimum symptom problems with that. We have returned people back to sport a little bit, as in like going back to practice, even with some symptoms, because sometimes that exercise is really good to help them get past that symptom threshold and to actually give them to do exercise to create more energy and to get past some of those symptoms. So we have done that. They usually do light exercise at the beginning, and then they do more sport specific. And then we start to return them back to sport where there's no contact involved, so no chance of another head injury, and then going into a full contact practice and then return to sport. This usually takes at least a week minimum, and going forward, we're looking at doing a heart rate recording at age. So 220 is your heart rate, and then you minus your age. That usually equals out your max heart rate, and you do from a variation of that. So as you can see down here, they're doing a 55% maximum heart rate and then to 70%. And everyone has a little bit of a different protocol. We do it with that 3 days that I talked about before. So get your practitioner to make sure that he has the proper recommendations and you know how to do it properly and safely. Right, there's your summaries of stuff of the clinical data, right? We have orientation, immediate memory, concentration, delayed recall. All those things can be written down as data points that you can record later on. And here is more of the symptoms there. So you can have different dates that you did them on and see what they're at. Dual task, fastest time, concentration, delay recall, all that stuff is there. And then, who your practitioner was, your name, your signature, and license number and all that stuff to make sure people can reach out to the person that is treating you. Summary, right? So we are better now to diagnose concussions just with more details, and people that maybe not as familiar can look at these SCAT and SCOT and get a better understanding of how we look at concussions and testing wise. Psychological, sleep, blood pressure, exercise have all been added at a more detailed, if not new expense anyway, or not expense, but new conditions and protocols. And we have extra multitasking testing now, from walking backwards, closing the eyes, and repeating things cognitively wise to make things more challenging. So if we can screen better for acute concussions and injuries, then less people are going to have these getting persistent symptoms, because we will be able to shut them down a little bit earlier, give them the exercises that they need, not overload them, and hopefully this ongoing post-concussion syndrome or symptoms will decrease quite a bit, and we're excited about that. Now, if anybody has any more questions, please let me know. I'm Shane Bayless, Proctor Sports Injury Clinic, and we're leading the way in sports injury treatments. So give us a call, and hopefully we can help you and many others if you know of others. All right, take care, guys. Thanks again. Bye.
Does anybody have any questions for Shane? Sam, go ahead.
Hey, Shane, thanks for your presentation. Just a quick question. Concussions, like level 2 concussions, how long does it average take to an athlete to get back to playing their sport?
The athlete getting back playing sport is a little different, but the concussion to clear up, they say, the easy ones are about, 7 to 10 days. To me, those concussions are probably more like whiplash rather than a concussion overall, because if you look at cognitively, the brain really doesn't repair fully until about a month. So, and those are the minor ones. As you get bigger into it, they take a little bit longer. And when you have previous concussions, that's where things start to change things. And I really think there's a genetic component towards it. It's going, there's some people that can get hit in the head 1,000,000 times and nothing happens to them. There's others that get hit at the high velocities and stuff like that, and it takes them a long time to repair. So there's a little bit of that kind of genetic component. But I would say for most of our athletes and things like that, as long as they don't have an anxiety issue or other pre-existing illnesses that make it longer, depression, all those different ADHD, those things, they usually get back within a month. That would be my say.
Thank you.
Well, by the way, this was a continuation of my presentation I gave beforehand. So the one we did that was just the SCAT, the on-field assessment. This one was the SCOT, which stands for the Standardized In-Office Assessment, which people are doing as practitioners. So it might have been a little confusing because at the beginning it did give a little bit of clip about that, but we kind of were past that point. So if you were confused a bit at the beginning, I understand that. I apologize. But yeah, this was the second half. If you missed my first presentation that I did, I think back in September.
Are there any other questions for Shane? Anybody feel like bumping their head? No, good. That's a smart move. That's actually the best move to the whole process. Shane, thank you. Shane, thank you so much for the presentation and helping us understand.
Yeah, no problem. I just wanted to say, like, I was about Neha was my physiotherapist. She's gonna do pelvic floor today, but she had something that came up, so that's why I finished it off with that presentation. But we do have a physiotherapist that's doing pelvic floor. If you have interest in that, I get more information or contact her. She can contact you and get that going there for you. But anyways, thanks again, guys, for your time and your patience and my fast talking, as well as a lot of information thrown at you in a little bit of time. Thank you.
And thank you. All right, folks, I'm just going to share a screen and kind of show the calendar of events and where things are or how they're going to flow for the next week or so, and depending on where you're at and what you're up to. Just adjusting a screen here. All right. So if you didn't book Dave's session today for midday, you're going to have to wait till probably the January 8th. So he's not even in the calendar yet. So if you want to know what that means, Dave sells different types of meats and they all taste really good. And he offers to do a BAM midday. See a book a week ahead. And so you reach out to Dave on that one. East Trade Winds is happening tomorrow. If you want more details, it's in the calendar link. Moving to Heel is happening 10 to 10:30 a.m. with Penny Lee. And East End Group and the South End Group. East End is Wednesday, South End is Thursday. Same time, same channel. Just reach out. Penny Lee's busy stretching your body at 7 p.m. On Wednesday, and then she's back at it again at 3 p.m. on Thursday. Tune in with Tony. That's the you can end up having a kind of a meditative sequence in the afternoon around 1:30. The 613 holiday night market is active and busy on the 15th, and that's through Dwight. The HeartLink Network, that's Susan Ebb's space, and that's in the East End. It's meant for ladies, and you want more details, click the link and or reach out to Susan Ebbs. Moving to Heel, back at it again, 1 to 2 p.m. With Penny Lee. Jacqueline, are the weekly yoga, are they still active?
No, we are done for December and we're coming back in January. So I'll have the dates available.
Perfect. So if the beauty of that is you can be at home, it's 9:30 in the morning, and you can be sitting in a chair and Jacqueline will make you do yoga. So your head will be behind your foot will be behind your head and you'll be all squared away. Just kidding. Next week, there are new meetings. There is a Beyond Safety Compliance meeting that's happening, and that's a session with Tanya Hewitt. And just register, it's free to attend. It's about awe. And not awe as in dentist awe, but awe as in like, wow, shock and awe. Apparently he's busy still stretching people 7 to 8. And moving to Heel again, tuning in with Tony. The 613 flea market ends. If you've not been to it and you need to get Christmas gifts, perfect space to go get those odds and ends you just can't get on Amazon. And moving to Heel class on Saturday the 23rd. Tony's busy, by the way, doing the tunings. So, you know, if you're looking for that meditation during the Christmas holiday, he's still there. So he's still cooking and shaking and baking. All right. And we return back on January 8th. Stop the share and give you some other information. What are we looking for? Well, you know, the usual suspects. We're using, you know, the travel agent, the appraiser, the event planner, life insurance for this group, house cleaner, gift basket company, photographer, sign maker, swag and promotional goods retail, and also men's and women's apparel. And we're also looking for a plumber and a mobile hairdresser. Not that a hairdresser wouldn't move around, but yes, to be portable is to be good. And stats wise, year to date. So if you haven't sent any information into Tony yet, please do so. All right. Referral wise, we've done 502 year to date. So that's as of last week, right? And if you were at the Christmas party on Saturday, you probably had some mini BAMs in that space. I saw Sam and Mike and Dave all kind of clustered around every once in a while. There's probably a few BAMs clustered into that box. Then there are actually referrals of 502. BAMs were 472 year to date, right? So BAMs are business activity meetings. That's where you're getting to understand someone else's business, or you're discussing a potential, a deal, where you're working to help collaborate, right? Like Sam offers Alex's Evolta pamphlets every time he does someone's car. Says, here, get a charge out of this. Bad pun, I know. Year to date dollar value, 259,000, actually $259.7 thousand worth of business conducted just between the members. So if you've not sent in your stats, your financial stats to Tony, please do so. Right, and we'll do that wrap in again in January, because I'm sure people are buying certain supplies from Dave, and gonna be tasty. E-cards, 11,295 hits. So that means there's been 11,295 times someone has utilized to open up the card. And the utility behind your e-card is that it just makes it less friction for someone to get a hold of you, less friction for someone to work with you. All right, I'm going to stop yammering away, and because we have a 10-minute segue right at the end about Christmas, and I got to get around to everybody in time, so we're going to be over today. Plan for it in this particular instance. We'll start off with, you know what, Eric. Eric likes being picked on first. So Eric, how was it? Anything you want to relate other than, don't take COVID money?
Yes.
Deserve it?
Yes, I had a concussion when I was playing under 17. And then I had a concussion 3 years ago playing soccer. And the concussion I had 3 years ago has left I can function normally. I don't have any problems, but I don't remember what happened. It's almost as if I were a hard disk, and I remember going on the field, and I remember the game being over, but I don't remember what happened. It's as if someone erased my memory. Mm-hmm. And it took me 3 months to recover, and I'm not prone to concussions. I mean, those are things that happen when you play. But the last one frightened me because I was never able to recover what happened.
Someone should remember that in CRA court.
Yes. I remember everything else, especially who owes me money. But it happened 3 years ago, and I went back to play about 6 months later, and it hasn't had any other impact in my life, but it's left that hole. Otherwise, I am looking forward to the weekend. This weekend is our family get together in Toronto, and there will be about 60 or 70 people there. We're a large family, and I'm finishing year ends because now I have to pay for the holiday that I had last week, and I didn't finish what I was wanting to finish before I went on holiday, so now I'm under the gun to get that done. And otherwise, I am planning to have a relaxing time. When I come back, I'll remind my clients to pay their CBA loans because they're due on January the 14th.
Welcome back, Eric.
Yep. Thanks.
Stay healthy, man.
Thanks.
Mike, over to you.
Right. Nice presentation, Shane. Pro all the way for sure. I had a referral. I gave a donation to Terry Black. She was doing a campaign with Rivera this month. Alex is sending us, my property manager at the condo, a quote for individuals that want to hook up their own personal EV station. So we're looking forward to that. And a great time at the Christmas get-together. The Phoenix get-together was really nice. Alex winning the laptop, Wendy winning because her mother picked the ticket. I don't know. I think there was glue on that ticket, but anyway. And then Norm also too, winning that trip. I believe his destination now is Vanier.
Yeah.
So that's not too bad. It'd be
Downtown.
Have fun in Vanier. And yeah, it's great seeing you again, Lana. Welcome back to the group. Welcome back to the family. And I'm just going to throw a little quick seed out there. Tony, Bernie, and myself got together for the 2024 Phoenix Golf Tournament. And so just planting a seed, quick seed, is Thursday, August the 1st. It's going to be at the Canadian again, which was great last year. It's going to be 9 holes, not 18, 9 and best ball, which means everybody can play. And you know what? Golf is the bonus here. What's really, really important is that we all get together, because this is an opportunity to get together, have a drink, have some great food, and do some nice networking and support Tony and the Phoenix group, which he's been obviously so good to us all year and each and every year. So there'll be a lot of details in January. There'll be a lot of phone calls to me, and like I said, this is more than golf. This is about a great day that we can all get out and celebrate one way or another.
Right, thank you. And we're going to swing over to Alex.
Right. Great talk, Shane. I enjoyed the listening to your process and the consultative approach. I think your clients must feel really, really very heard after the thorough sort of triage. In terms of what's been going on for me, it's been pretty busy trying to wrap up the year end, but we're getting there. I'm going to be setting up a BAM with Lana before long, because I think there's some useful sort of areas where we could potentially find some common ground. Not least of all my home staging wife, who I think is super talented, but we'll talk about that, and potentially electrical projects as well, because lighting, as you know, can really affect the ambience of a room, of a space, and there's all kinds of interesting things that we can do electrically. So thank you to the Phoenix Group for 2023, and I look forward to a great 2024. Cheers, guys. Thank you.
Thank you, Alex. Hey, Jacqueline, Mortgage Honey, over to you, ma'am.
Well, spectacular. Shane always has such amazing information when he's going over the questions that he asks, and those are intentional. And he's looking for the truth about what's going on. Anyway, that was great. And it's a 9-hole instead of an 18-hole. That's a brilliant idea. If I can say that out loud. I did say that out loud. I'm looking forward to 2024. Like, spectacular. Thank you all. It's been a treat. And what am I doing? I am looking forward to taking this week of sending out holiday cards to my clients. So I should have about 100 of them going out. Should be there in time.
Jacqueline, thank you so much. Susan Ebbs.
Thank you very much, Bernie. Shane, excellent talk. Very efficient questionnaire that you've got going there, and certainly would give a great overall picture of baseline and where you can go. I know my sister-in-law was involved in a car accident coming up on 3 years now, and unfortunately she's still suffering a lot of side effects from whiplash, concussion, and she's got a lot of anxiety issues as a result of the accident. So truly can change your life when you are involved with concussion slash whiplash injury. Let me see. I did. We had a BAM with Terry Black last week, and ongoing business with Wendy and Penny Lee, and of course still working with Tony and his fantastic tuning sessions, etc. And I think that's it for me for this year. And thank you so much to everybody. I've enjoyed working with you, and look forward to 2024.
Susan, thank you so much. Norm, over to you, sir.
So I had a BAM with Terry Black was very informative, learned a lot about Terry, her background. We talked about family history, and I got her into a website to track her family history. It's the biggest hobby in the world is family history. So we had an interesting discussion there about family history. I have mine traced back to 1515 to France. So anyway, if anybody, this is aside from business, but anybody that's interested in family history, I'll give you a website that's free. It's the biggest genealogy website in the world. So like I said before, this is a time of year where if your house is too hot or too cold, with a thermography camera, we can take a picture and see if there's where the weakest parts of your house is to make it warmer. So I'm looking forward to the BAM with you, Lana. If you can send me that invite, we'll get together tomorrow. And I'm free this week if anybody wants to do a BAM.
Arm, thank you so much. Sam.
Thank you, Bernie. First of all, Shane, thanks for your presentation there, buddy. I'm very interested in post-concussion syndrome because both my son and my nephew are professional athletes, and they have suffered concussions. My son with 3 now, and my nephew with, I think he said 7 last time. He's had 7 concussions. So very important that these things get monitored. Thank you very much. Things going on well. I attended the Christmas party, Phoenix Christmas party on Saturday. It was a great turnout. I think there must have been around 30 people there. So it was it was quite a nice location. We had great chili that was there, and remember the cornmeal was fantastic. So I had a good time, and yes, I had a couple of BAMs there with Dave. We had a pool BAM, billiard BAM, or whatever it's called. And Mike came over afterwards, and we talked again afterwards. And yes, and our friend Alex, congratulations to you and Norm for winning. And there's what I include with my receipts, advertising for Alex when I charge a customer with or give them their statement from their repair. That's it.
Sam, thank you so much. Tony, over to you, sir.
Okay, did everybody go?
No. Oh no. You know
Okay,
what?
I want to go last so I can play the video after.
Tony, absolutely. My Shane, you're up. You're filling in my blank now, buddy.
Hey guys, thanks for your kind words, even though maybe some of them were just being kind. So thank you very much, guys. Hopefully those concussions with over there with Sam, take care of those things. Make sure they're getting fully back because those things can accumulate. It's the inflammation of the brain that we worry about the most, as it starting to eat away the good tissue, where you start having some of those problems of later on the cognitive function, and that. So those are important to know about. Thank you. Working with Eric still and try to get my life together always with that, but it's complicated. But all good. Christmas is going to be fun. I'm not doing too much, just a family thing. Visiting family mostly, so it's going to be busy but stressful, but awesomely good. Anyways, I hope everyone else has a great.
Closed out too fast.
I do like the 9-hole thing.
No.
That's
From
your
Zoom meeting. No, it's right here.
The 9 holes is a great thing to help keep you. I guess it quickens it up so people do that, because it's a long day when you go to these golf tournaments. And it's like you're there golfing all the time in sun and everything else. So I think that is a good idea. So good on you, Mikey, to figure that one out. Anyways, talk soon. And hello back there. All right.
Shane, thank you.
See, they're all laughing.
That's my right hand.
See, right hand.
Remember, always on the palm onto the forehead. Anything else will give him a concussion.
So does Eric know he was photobombed?
Yeah, he does. His right hand told him. Lana, over to you. Tell us what you think of the meeting, and
Well, it's wonderful to be back. And of course, Now you guys tell me about the party on Saturday. This is Monday. You're supposed to tell me on Friday. Come on. Also, what Shane was talking about scared me a bit because I haven't had any concussions. I'm not an athlete, and yet I still have trouble sometimes, right? Just being normal. I've actually, when Tony and I were talking about joining this Phoenix group, I was in Calgary celebrating my boyfriend's Christmas. And before Calgary, I was in Cuba. So for the past 2.5 weeks, I have been traveling also in Cuba and Calgary and Banff and Canmore and stuff. So we still have the Burnley Christmas to celebrate on Christmas Day. And this, of course, is a year of firsts, because without my dad, it's going to be missing we've got a big hole to fill. Yeah, group is great. God, we must make our numbers bigger. We've got to get in an inspector and a stager, and
Oh, love that.
Yeah, I know a few. Yeah. Yeah, some have made it through the business longer than I have, and some I've been there longer than they have. It's nice to see some of the repeat people that I've seen before, like Mike and Jacqueline and Susan. Who else? And of course, Tony and Shane. Yeah, that's right. And Tony and I have been in touch forever. Jackie and I spent New Year's back in Shane. Oh God, you're such a goof. So cute.
Lana, thank you.
Thank you. Oh, and one more thing. My
Yeah,
greatest
go
joy
ahead.
comes from being trusted with your referrals.
Yeah.
Did you hear that?
Your greatest story comes from.
My greatest joy comes from being trusted with your referrals.
Oh, okay. I thought you said pearls for a
Working with
second.
your-
I'm going a pearl. But that, you know what? That is a pearl.
That is.
A pearl, it is. Yes, every referral is a pearl. Oh,
There you go.
good.
We came up with a new tagline. That's it. That's the ticket.
Perfect for every
Banter.
girl.
Well, let's see. Mike and I had a pearl. We were having a chat about golf as on Saturday, and so that is August 1st. And yes, so we'll have more details out to everybody in January, and we'll be looking to get 72 golfers out. So, and it's all for a worthy cause, and it's part of the Make a Wish component. And yeah, more details to come. Otherwise, it was a spoil the surprise. Also did a same thing what Mike did with Terry, responded to a request for support on a special project Terry had. And yeah, that's kind of where I'm going to fire off the quote for the day now, because our next tidbit is going to last us about 10 minutes. And I'm just going to share it. The quote for the day is, "In the midst of chaos, there is also opportunity," from Sun Tzu.
Okay. Thanks a lot, Shane, for your presentation. It's amazing how many things you have to go through and assess when a person hits their head. It's really good to know that someone's so knowledgeable and knows what to do in that instance. Because I have clients all the time that have had concussions like 20 years ago, and they're still facing some challenges here and there. So it isn't just something short term. But yeah, thanks for that, Shane. Awesome. Ongoing business with Josh. We got some more stuff for him. Mike and I, we had a BAM talking about his stuff. And Mike, you still have the gift certificate, by the way, for a free tuning. And so does Eric and Sam. So if you want to gift that or you want to use it yourself, it's up to you. Yeah, Bernie and I had a BAM. Penny, Lee and I had a BAM. Did some business with Terry Black, and offering a free BAM tuning to Lana. If you're interested, I could do it either remotely or you can come to my studio in Canada. So I'd be happy to give that to you, just for coming in. So thanks a lot. And yeah, so here's a little Christmas card that we whipped up for you just before you head off. So hope you like it.
Potentially going down to the GTA area. My niece has been proposed to for marriage, that is. So that's a good thing. And I hear offerings are going to Southwest Ontario. Usually when I go down there, it's always freezing rain. So, but you know, that's okay. That's you go for it for family.
Thank you. My Christmas plans are we have family in Hamilton, so I'll be going to Hamilton to spend some time there, and then back to the Kingston-Gananoque area for Christmas celebrations between Christmas and New Year's, and then in early January, as if there's not enough fun and frivolity that happens over the holidays, we'll be in Mexico for a week. So looking forward to rest, relaxation, repivoting, and recharging.
I look forward to celebrating Christmas this year with my family in a different way. Traditionally, my mom always likes to have everybody over on Christmas Day, but because my daughter's a nurse, she works shift work, it's making it a little bit difficult. So we're having Christmas dinner with my parents and my siblings on Christmas Eve. I always reserve Boxing Day. I decided that when my kids started dating, that it was just too much trouble trying to organize all the other meals they had to attend. So I do my Christmas on Boxing Day, where I have everybody over at my home. So being Christmas Day, I'm free. I'm actually going over to my daughter's place to watch my granddaughter, Beatrix, open her Christmas gifts bright and early in the morning. So that's what I'm going to do for Christmas.
And my Christmas plans, family over the holidays. One of the big things that happened though, I got a message from Santa Claus that the elves had their Christmas party, and a few of the elves had a couple of cocktails, and they took Santa's sleigh out for a joyride, and they were distracted and they wrecked the side of the sleigh. But I have been sent pictures, and I'll be taking a look at it. I will be repairing this sleigh before Christmas, so there will be a Christmas.
For me, I'm going to take some time just to slow down a little bit, regroup, be grateful for all the lovely things I have in my life, and come here a second, and enjoy this little person who should be at school.
Oh, nice.
But she lives in Quebec, so she's enjoying a school strike right now.
In terms of plans for Christmas and New Year's, well, as you all know, I like a green Christmas. So Craig and I will be leaving on Tuesday. That's December 12th. And we will be in Costa Rica celebrating with all our friends down there until January 17th. So that's where I'll be checking in with you guys from sunny Costa Rica. And I'm looking forward to getting a break from the little bit of snow that we've been having so far. And yeah, basically that's it for me. Thank you.
We have our family Christmas party, and there's 50 people there from my brothers and sisters to myself. So we all have kids who have kids. So my thing was I had to buy plates. So everybody's assigned to bring something. So we eat well and we enjoy ourselves.
So what are your Christmas plans there, Shane?
I get to go to Buffalo. I get to go to Barrie, so mostly just spending time with the family and stuff like that. And our vacation is actually gonna be in February because that's when it gets slower for us anyway. So that's kind of what we're doing. Nothing too special, but good family fun. I get to see my brother from Saskatoon, and yeah, everyone kind of meets up. And New Year's we have a little shindig, so all good.
And for this holiday season, I'm gonna stay in Ottawa because usually for the past couple of years I always out of the country or out of Ottawa, but this year I'm just gonna stay here to celebrate, you know, the Holly Time and also get together with everyone.
Up in the air at this moment, we'll either be going to my daughter here in Ottawa or we'll head out to Carleton Place to my other daughter.
And what am I doing this Christmas? Well, I'm going to have my son, I think he's off for a week from Ottawa. He's going to come up here to Calabogie and we'll go swimming and possibly do some skiing for the first time because something I couldn't do. And with my in-laws, I bring the turkey. So I'll bake the turkey at home, then I'll put it in a big Tupperware, all covered, of course, with towels. And Dave will appreciate this. It's the way to keep the meat warm by the time you arrive to your event. you've brought this big, huge turkey. And I would strongly recommend, if you haven't gotten your turkey yet, please get it now, because as you get closer to Christmas, they get smaller and smaller. Merry Christmas, everybody.
So we're staying local. Sometimes we kind of get out of Dodge, but this time we're staying local and having family over. We've got the nice big Christmas tree. The presents will be under the Christmas tree, and very traditional. So hopefully the snow keeps coming. We get a white Christmas. It's looking really nice right now. So
Christmas time, I'm actually spreading some Christmas today. I have done an outreach project on my own, to a personal one, to bless the seniors at the Odawa Native Friendship Center. And I just want to thank those that have sponsored a grandparent. The program is called Adopt a Grandparent. So today I'm putting on my elf costume and heading down there to spread some cheer. And with my family, my daughters will be here on Christmas Eve. That's our ritual. And they spend Christmas Day with their dad. And then I spend Christmas with some family and friends, other family and friends. So yeah, that's what we're doing.
So as for Christmas, I am going to be hosting, I think, about 15 people here on the 23rd. Once again, my daughter is going to be working most likely throughout Christmas, and then we'll take off to Southern Ontario between Christmas and New Year's to visit my family. And in between all of that, there are a whole host of celebrations, including the Phoenix Christmas party, that is part of what we'll be spending our time doing.
Christmas. Well, as usual, we'll be heading down Kitchener-Waterloo area. That's where my wife and I are from. We have family on both sides. My wife's mother is 91 years old there. So we get together at her place for the family reunion on her side. And then we go to my nieces and on my side. And they're both in the Kitchener-Waterloo area.
Well, I'm heading to the family farm. So first, we have an annual Christmas party on Saturday. Funny how it conflicts. And then there's a Christmas party for my daughter's single friends who don't have family here. So we'll do a brunch. And then off to the farm in Tweed, Ontario. Should be interesting.
After some of these dog for Christmas, I'm doing 2 turkeys for a customer. What we usually do is we have our friends that are down the street that have been friends of ours for 15, 20 years, and they're Jewish, so we usually go for dim sum. That's our Christmas meal, is we go for dim sum with the Jewish people there. So that's but it's a lot of fun. I like dim sum. It's good.
What I'm doing for Christmas, I'm drinking lots of eggnog. Lots of eggnog and rum. My girlfriend who lives in Toronto, she's coming up for the week of Christmas. So we're going to go up to Tremblant, do some skiing, do some family dinner on the 25th. Super looking forward to that. Ski on the 31st. And so lots of family. Between now and then, I'll be visiting with a lot of clients and wishing them the best for the new year. All the clients that I've worked with throughout the year as well, I always try and drop a little something off for them and wish them a Merry Christmas.
So in terms of Christmas plans, this year we are staying local. So we are staying put this year and just enjoying like our little bubble with the family that is local and some friends. And so yes, long story short, I am looking forward to 2.5 weeks off. So that is what I'm focusing on in order to recharge and to really show up and be the best version and most relaxed version and also most creative version of myself for 2024.
Oh, hoping to take a week off, but so are half my team, so we'll probably be back and forth on it. But yeah, got a good friend of mine coming down. My kids kind of adopted him as their uncle, so to speak, and he'll be down, and yeah, we'll just be hanging out with family and just taking some much needed break time whenever we can.
And what I'm doing for Christmas is, as usual, I'm going to my son's house. We're all getting together as a family. Everyone's it's just been a great year as far as learning things. I don't know, for me, it's been a big learning curve. And this year, I'm going to start connecting to old friends, people I haven't seen in a long time, perhaps even going back to high school. Some of the things that I've even been connected even very recently was somebody that I used to be friends with in high school. That was a few decades ago. And I'm looking forward to that because when you're getting to a certain age or a certain time in your life, you want to start rekindling, because that's one of the things that people will regret. I should have connected to my friends when I had the chance, because, you know, they're at a point where they're wondering if they are of any significance. And if somebody out of the blue contacts them, it really makes their day. And so I plan to do that this Christmas, really share a little bit, not only with family, but try and get some friends. So I'm really open for anybody that wants to get together as well in that. So looking forward to Christmas for this year. Thanks, Bernie. There you go. Hope you liked it.
Good job. Very good job.
Okay. Well, have a good Christmas, everybody.